Welcome back. Welcome back to Ahas and Upgrades and Embodiment is Everything. I am super excited. This is a place where women can really tap into the ultimate status symbol, and that is really creating the life that they want on a first class level. Hi, my name is Eva. Welcome. And I have with me today Andrea. Andrea, hi. Tell me a little bit about you today.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Solorzano and I'm here just starting out my journey. I've manifested so many beautiful things in my life. I've manifested a new car, a new home, an amazing boyfriend, dream job, everything. And now I'm at this place where I just want to give and tell people about my story and just give from my overflow, because the techniques that I've tried, the manifestation techniques I've tried, I know it works, and I know I want to help other people realize their own personal power and learn how to use it. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God, this is exciting. This is really yummy. I can't wait to hear all about it because you just said you manifested a car, a home, a boyfriend, and a job. You said, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
this." Tell me everything. Tell me everything, and then I
Oh
want
my
to tell you a
God.
little bit about what I just did in Dubai. But I want to hear more about you and what you're up to.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, I like to start off with like where I came from. I was working at a place where I wasn't really, I don't want to say I wasn't happy, but I knew I wasn't satisfied and I knew I had more to offer and more to give. And I didn't want to work for other people. So I was at this place.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, my dog. So anyways, so as I was at this place where I really wanted to just give more of myself and I wanted to learn, really just tap into like my own potential power. So
Yes.
this is where I just discovered law of attraction. For those of you who don't know what law of attraction is, it's basically one of the universal laws, as of many, that is like gravity. You can't deny it. You can't hide from it. It is one of those things that is universal and everybody taps into it, whether if they like it or not, right? So
Yeah.
basically what law of attraction is like that attracts like. And so I discovered this and I was like, okay, I am not really resonating with this identity anymore. And I thought to myself,
Oh.
what are those things that I can do that can resonate with the identity that I feel like I like? What do I feel truly inside? And honestly, I really thought about this. I mean, it took me like at least 2 years to really just come up with, what do I want in my life? And I wrote down a list of things. What do I like to do? How do I want to wake up? What are the things that I want to do during my day? All of the things that are just going to put me into this place of high vibration and feeling good and giving from my overflow and all those sorts of things. And I also wrote down what
Yeah.
I thought I deserved. So I was thinking of things like, I deserve a life of luxury. I deserve a life of sustainability. I deserve to be treated well. I deserve respect. You know, all of these things. And of course, this is stuff that I would think to myself. I wasn't just preaching it to everybody, because I was at
Yes.
a point where I didn't feel like I needed to say it out loud. I just wanted to see if it worked. Right? Like I was like,
Oh.
okay, law of attraction stuff, like, does this stuff even really work? Like, what is this stuff? So, girl, I wrote down, like I said, everything that I wanted. And one of the, like, for instance, I'm just gonna take the car, for example.
Yes.
I knew I wanted to be the type of woman who cared about the environment. So I was like, okay, I want a car. And I had no idea what type of car I actually wanted. I just knew I wanted a new car. So I thought, okay, I want an eco-friendly car. I want a hybrid car. I want something that feels good. I want something that looks like me. I want something that is just me, you know? And I would be in my Honda Civic and I would just be imagining, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait till I get my new car. I'm gonna be driving
Yes.
around. It's gonna have like my cute little touch screen, because at the time I didn't even have like a touch screen, like backup camera kind of car, you know, like one of like the things that we take for granted, right? I didn't have that, and I was like, that would be really nice to be able to see that on my little screen. And I would just imagine seeing that type of stuff. I would go to different car dealerships. I would try out this car. And I would always say to myself, When I feel it, I will know it.
Oh,
That's it. And I've used that mantra for everything in my life. Same thing with the job, same thing with the person that I met. And I also said that I would want the universe to reflect that back to me. So
yes.
for instance, when it came to the car, I was with my boyfriend at the time and he was helping me negotiate the prices. And when we were test driving it, he's like, this car looks like you. This car is you. Like me without even telling him the type of car I wanted, like me doing my manifestation stuff, he
What?
reflected back to me, this car's you. Like, this is so you. Like, this is your car. And I was like, yes, this is my car. Yes. So it's one of those things you can ask the universe for anything and you can ask for that confirmation. I don't want to say validation because I don't think we need that validation, but I think the only thing that we do need is like just that trust within ourselves and the universe
Yes.
reflect that trust back through other
Yes.
people or through other things. Sometimes you see signs and stuff. So it's really whatever you're looking to attract in your life, you can go out and get it.
Oh,
Yes.
so good. So good. So you have the new car, you just got it.
Oh yeah, I had
Um,
the car for a while. Yeah, I
oh,
what's so funny is that like when all of this started happening for me, it all happened at once. And a lot of the
oh, tell me
time
about that.
people, so it first happened with the boyfriend. And the boyfriend opened up this whole new world for me. And what happened
Ooh.
was within, I want to say, 2 to 3 months of dating, I got in a car accident. But
You did what?
I got in a car accident.
Huh.
Yeah, before we started dating, I got in a car accident. So when I was still doing my manifestation stuff, all of that stuff, and I got in a car accident. And I feel like that was like a pivotal moment for one of those things where I was like, guess I have to get a new car now. So I'm looking for cars. I'm looking for the best deal. I'm looking for something that I can afford without trouble. And so literally the boyfriend, then the car, then we moved into this beautiful apartment. Like all of the things, like literally just, it was like a domino effect. One thing after the other, one thing after the other. But like I said, it first started off with the boyfriend. And going back to that, at the time, I was in a place where I was feeling so good about myself. I was not going to give up my happiness, anything, my self love, my self worth, anything for anybody. So
Oh, yes.
I was at a point where I was like, you know what? He actually was one of my clients. I was a painter at the time, so he was a client of mine. He wanted to buy a painting. I said, okay, like, let's see I'll drop it off to him and that's it. And come to start talking, all like one thing after the other, ask me out. And then I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, well, when I'll know it when I see it. So I have a good feeling about this. So I'm going to trust me. And
Yes.
one thing after the other, it's really about stepping outside of your comfort zone and
Yes.
just going for the things that
Yes.
you feel is right for you. Might not be right for somebody
Yes.
else, but
Yes.
going back to your strength inside and how well you know yourself. I don't know. Tell me about your experience. Do you resonate with that?
Oh my God, yes, so many times. Well, for me, I didn't even know that I was a super attractor. I just knew that I would think about things and then I would talk about it or I would um, imagine it, and these things would show up in my life. I talked about one time when I was working in New York and I decided to move to another state, and I was really connected to New York, and I didn't know how I would move from New York and still keep the clients that I had and live in another state. But I had this vision. I said, I want to live in New York. I want to live in the South. I want to live out west, and I want to live more, you know, Chicago area. I had these four places that I wanted to live at one time. So when I moved to the South, I'm like, how did I be able to manage living in New York still? And we spoke about this in a video that we weren't able to keep, but I was just kind of talking about it, and one client said to me, "Why don't you stay at my home?" And I'm like, "Wait, like stay at your home?" She's like, "Yeah, you can just use my home." And then from there, another client said, "Why don't you stay at my hotel? Just use my hotel when you come into town. You don't have to pay anything. Just use these places for you." And I was like, "Really?" And I did that for, I don't know, 15 years, back and forth, where I didn't have to pay anything. People are kind in the world. And when you hold a vibration long enough and you can really see yourself and activate that inside of you that, as you said before, that is mirrored on the outside of what you believe. I wasn't sure I believed in the beginning because I was like, who would do that? But I said, let me just see what happens. Yes, over and over and over again. Right now, I'm currently manifesting some really big things, and they're coming together. They're coming together slowly. Even with my, I had an intensive in Dubai a couple weeks ago, actually about 3 weeks ago. I
Yeah,
had no
talk about
idea.
that. I really want to hear
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, I had no idea. I'd never been to Dubai before. I knew very little about it, but all of a sudden I got this opportunity to go to Dubai, and I said, "Oh, beautiful place to have an intensive." I had no idea how this was going to come together, but it did. It did. And it now helps me to really step into any and everything that I want for me, trusting that sometimes it's not always the timing, but that I want it and I hold the vibration of it and I stay crystal clear about what I want. And I just wait for it to happen, girl. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I say yes to it and I'm for it. I'm here for it. I don't care how it comes to me long as it's under grace, ease, it's healthy and it's positive, you can count me in every time. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's how that happened for me. Tell me more about you and what's happening.
Yes. So right now, all right, so I want to just go back to everything that I was saying. So when I first started doing all of these manifestation practice and then everything became like a domino effect,
Yes,
I'm in the stage where everything came into fruition. And I'm like, wow, okay, what's next? And so I'm
yes,
back at where I was before, mindset wise, in a sense of like, I have to continuously, and I think everybody does, have to continuously go back to thinking about, okay, who do I want to become? Who do I want to
yes,
be today? How do I want to
yes,
feel? What do I want to
yes,
give? Right? All of these questions, like these are things that you can never really get away from. And you are constantly in a state of change. And you need to constantly think about like what identity do you want to become, right? So that's exactly where I'm at right now. That's what I'm doing. I am working on shifting my identity to somebody who is a YouTuber, right? And so I am networking, I'm reaching out to people, I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. I'm going to be doing, I don't know if you've ever heard of Toastmasters. Have you ever heard of Toastmasters?
yes, 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 yes,
So
yes,
I mean, a lot of people have been deathly afraid of public speaking, and that's something that's always been an insecurity of mine. I was the type of girl that would not want to raise her hand in class, would want to sit in
oh
the
yes,
back, that sort of thing. But I am stepping into this new identity of mine. And
yes,
once I reach that state where I am able to grasp onto those characteristics, those qualities that I want for myself, I will have to go back again and shift my identity again to further my growth. So that's where I'm at right now. I am working on a new skill, digital marketing, learning how to grow my YouTube channel, learning how to public speak. And it's just like all of these things that I'm just like constantly just trying to gather and embrace and love. And I think that before, my identity before was that I was so afraid of change. Now I am embracing change and I love it. Like I actually get like, I'm thrilled by it. Like I actually get some juice from it. So that's what I'm doing now, working on some new skills, finding new ways to like network and connect with people, and just really just building my career, honestly.
yeah. And you know what? It's so good that you spoke about change. Change is the only thing that is true,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my opinion. Well, there's a couple of other things that are true, but we want to keep it positive. Change is true. Change is true. And if you, for me, I am constantly in a flow of reinventing myself. And for me, sometimes when I'm reinventing myself, I'm like, is this going to work? hell yes, it's going to work. It's going to work because I'm putting the energy in it. I am giving of myself of it, and I hold the vibration of it. In the past, when I would try something new, I would be worried, like, oh my gosh, what if things don't work out? So in that negative energy, like, oh, like almost like a self prophesizing moment, like, yeah, it's not going to work out. Yeah, Eva, I told you so. I told you that it wasn't going to work out. Now I'm
Self-sabotage.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, self sabotage. So now I'm like, of course, get out of my way. I even have to tell myself that at times, get out of my way. Of course, it's going to work because I have signed it. I signed off on it, and it has my own stamp of approval. And once I'm in that energy, I just move forward. But like you know, when I started this YouTube channel, um, I was like, okay, so who am I really on this channel? Because I'm evolving all the time. But I'm who I am day by day. And who I was a week ago is not who I am today. And for me, growing a channel is it's really important that I get the right people when I'm growing my channel. Um, I want it to grow at the pace that it's supposed to grow, that the right type of people are coming for me. So I am manifesting my people as we speak. You know, a lot of times when we are new at something, we can't see it if we are stepping outside and not really embodying it. So when I embody something, I see it in my own mind's eye, therefore it is already there. People may not see it, um, friends may not see it, but I see it. I see it in spirit. I see it in my mind's eye. I see it in my heart. I feel it in my body. And it's just a matter of time that my people are coming towards me. So I am manifesting this whole experience on YouTube. One time I was a little bit embarrassed of YouTube because I was like, oh my gosh, can you really grow a business on YouTube? Already, that's the wrong energy, right? That's the wrong way of thinking. So I'm like, YouTube, bring it on. Bring it on. Let me see what I'm capable of. Allow me, Eva, to embody this experience so that I can show up how I need to show up in the world. If I am a super attractor in every other category of my life, this is just a matter of time. So yes. So tell me more about.
I love that.
I see. Thank you. I see
I love
myself as a super attractor. And I put super on it because at this stage in my life, I'm no longer afraid to say what I want, what I like, how I want to do it. So now I move forward with this big energy around what I want to attract. Are you at a place where you're like, the bigger the better, bring it on. I'm here for it. Where are you with it?
Um, it's so funny that you say super. Did you learn that from human design? Have you
No,
have you tapped into human design?
no, I don't know about
Okay,
that.
you got it. Yeah, you got to look into it. Yeah, so it's basically this. You have to know the exact time that you were born and the exact day, and it's supposed to be a body map of the channels that are open, and it has different labels. And some people, like, you know, there's many different ways, like there's, you can have like a human design reader, but you know, the chart will tell you like the basics and stuff, and you can gather what you can from it, and it will give you a label, a name, right? And so, you know, obviously everybody has different feelings about labels and that sort of thing, but I'm almost positive there is a name for an as a super attractive, something like that. And
Ooh,
for me, I've done that human design, and I am considered a manifester. So
oh,
yes, and there's a lot of different ones. There's one that's like a projector, and then there's one that's a generator. And so normally people who are generators are people who are very hardworking, who have to see things through and have to get things done no matter what. And I don't know all the definitions, so definitely look into it. And for those of you who are watching, make sure you look into human design. It's very interesting. But
yeah.
yeah, so I am. So yeah, the question was, what am I looking to attract? Is that what you were
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, are you open to these? You're attracting some beautiful things in your lives. Like, are you like, I'm taking the brakes off now. I'm like, bring it on to me. Is that how you are now yourself?
Yes, I mean, I feel like I am at the point where I want to be at a pace that I can handle. So I'm okay with,
Whoa.
yes. So like I'm okay. I totally give up myself to the universe in a sense of like I am open to the divine timing of everything. And I'm
Yes.
open to all the possibilities. I'm looking for the best one, right? I'm going to stay
Yes.
focused on the
Yes.
best one, but I'm open to all possibilities. So I'm not going to say like my cap for how much I want to make is $100,000, right? That's not going to be my cap. If anything, I'm playing the minimums game, and the minimums game is it's from some book. I can't remember what book it was called, but basically, the minimums game is that I make a minimum of $100,000, right?
Hmm.
Instead of saying like that's your maximum. So I'm just kind of at a point where like at a minimum, I'm going to accept the best possible solution, the best possible opportunity for myself. And I'm really just kind of embracing it all. And I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do anything that I'm not ready for. Right. So whatever I have to do to encourage myself to keep going, I'm going to keep doing it because I know this game is all about momentum, right? So as long as I'm
Yes.
moving forward in the right direction, that's how I know I'll be ready for that next thing and that next thing and that next thing. I started rereading. I've already read it once, but I've already went back to it, but have you read Atomic Habits by James Clear?
Yes, I have.
Yes, so I'm back on that. I'm back on that because again, I'm shifting my identity again. So I have to rethink about my habits that I have right now. I have to get real and I want to move forward. So one of the manifestation techniques that I do is like I'll get real about where I'm at. What do I feel guilty about? What do I feel shame about? What do I fearful of? What is not allowing me to move to that next step? And I'll get really real with myself and I'll say, I feel guilty. Andrea Solorzano feels guilty for blah, 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 blah. And I forgive myself. And I forgive myself. And I will just get into this rhythm of being like, okay, I'm confronting myself. I'm feeling the pain of this guilt and this shame. And then I forgive myself. I burn it and then I let it go. Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's all about just letting like feel I think a lot of the times something that I would do before was that I would try to push away those feelings, right? And that was my identity. I would be like, okay, I can handle this. I don't need to think about this. Like I can push back like all of these negative feelings and move forward and then not feel myself, parts of myself. And that's where I was going wrong. I wasn't feeling myself and my entirety, and I was ignoring parts of myself, which was not allowing me to move forward, right? Because there was that fear and that shame, those parts of myself that were still holding me back. So now I'm at a point where I'm confronting those things so I can continue to move forward. And if anything, those are the things that I feel like I've been most scared of was confronting those feelings. Like,
Oh.
I don't really care. Like now I'm at the point where I was at the point where I was so scared of public speaking. Now I'm at the point where it excites me. Right? The thing I was actually scared of was the fear and the guilt and the shame that I thought I would receive if I did do that, right? And so I know that's kind of like a hard concept to understand, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from on that. But it's really about just accepting all parts of yourself and then saying, I'm going to do it anyways, right? And I see you and I acknowledge you. But like you were saying, like, I got this. Like,
Yeah.
sit back, I got this. Yeah. So I'm at
Yeah.
the point where I am manifesting big things, but the big things that I'm manifesting is the shifts that are inside me rather than the physical things right now. Like I'm really trying to hone in on what are those big fears, those big guilts, and those huge shames that are really holding on to me and like pulling my heartstrings and not letting me move forward because I can't bring this into my next shift. I can't, I have to like acknowledge her and move her up there with me, right? And let her know that I got her.
Yes. And I would add to that whenever I have moments like that, for me, when I really, really get real and truthful with myself, it boils down to, Eva, do you feel deserving and good enough for this thing that you're going after? And it's interesting that that is what comes up most of the time whenever I am moving on to bigger and better things, because it almost as if there is a little bit of a protective shield around me to keep me from, messing it up or screwing it up. So, when I have those moments, and they don't come all the time, but I do have moments when they're like that, I really put myself in check. It's almost putting myself in timeout, saying, what's really going on right now? Why are you want the thing? Why are you letting these thoughts come through? And I acknowledge that they're coming through, but I still tell them, not now, not now. You've had plenty of time to be in my life, but right now you're not going to be a part of this thing that I'm going forward with. You're not welcome at the table, is what I like to say. And whenever I am, when I do get to the place where I'm like, oh, I did it, and then I'm saying to myself, why did I put myself through that? Why did I put myself through all of that turmoil for so many days, for so many weeks, sometimes months on end of thinking through things, when all I had to do is step forward? Step forward, clear up my vibration, embody the thing, and receive it. Allow it. Sometimes we don't allow ourselves to have what we want because we're thinking that we're either an imposter, or someone is going to um, find out the secret that we don't know certain things. And I'm like, it's really a waste of energy. It's really a waste of energy when we look back over our lives and say, okay, so I made the thing bigger than me, when it should have been the other way around. A lot of times we make money bigger than us. We make a new relationship bigger than us. We make things bigger than us. And then we're like so shocked when we finally get it. I'm like, release that so we can have the energy to really be embodied in the thing that we want. The less energy we give to the negativity of it, the more time and energy we have for the thing. And to me, that's winning over and over and over and over again. So I get you, girl. I get where you're at and how you deal with things in that way.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I'd like to piggyback off of that. Like when you are you're telling that part of yourself, you know what? Like I got this. You don't get to be allowed to sit at this table right now. I
Yes.
want to just take that a step further in something that I learned early, like since the last time I talked to you.
Oh,
And
right
one of the
here.
things is, not not focusing on like the behavior. So I'm just going to take, for instance, if you didn't wake up early, you told yourself last night you were going to wake up at 5 a.m. and you didn't wake up at 5 a.m. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, maybe at some point your shameful or guilty part of you would say, oh wow, like you did it again. You can't be this person who wakes up at 5 a.m. and can be productive all day, that sort of thing, right? So that shame is there, and it's sitting at the table. So you're saying, you know what? You go ahead and sit down. I got this. I'll take care of it. And so I want to take that a step further by saying, figuring out what is that action, what is that behavior that you can do next time.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
hear
I
me?
still hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you. My AirPods died, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, like, taking that a step further and saying, what is that action? What is that behavior that you can do next time? So not ruminating on that. Is that the right word? Ruminating? It's
This
ruminating.
was ruminating.
Ruminating. Thank you.
No,
Ruminating
it's okay.
on the thing that you did wrong, right? Like that shame, that guilt, all of that stuff. Not focusing on that. And then also maybe even like defining shame and guilt as something else, like maybe giving it a new meaning for yourself. So that way it's not even the worst thing in the world. It's something that you can, like, okay, maybe shame is something to you that your desire is so strong that you just want to be better, and you have the potential to be better. So that's what it means to feel shameful. Right. So putting things into your perspective that makes you feel better to allow you to take that next action to move forward and to take that time to be able to embrace that. Right. Like to be able to say, you know what, I got this. Right.
Yeah. I love that. And I would add to that about the shame part and using it to your advantage. I like that you're taking it and saying, oh, okay, let me see what I can gather from that. That is gold and golden for me that I can move forward and it will help me to move forward. But here's the key. The key is moving forward. You're able to move forward. I'm able to move forward. We want women, we want people to move forward and not stay stuck in shame, stuck in guilt, stuck in disappointment,
Yeah.
stuck in beating ourselves up. Like, take that information, learn from it, and then move on. I think that's why we get so frustrated sometimes as individuals, and in my group, women, because we are like, oh my God, we can't trust. We don't have the confidence that it's going to work out the way that we want it, so that we just stay in this bubble and we don't go forward. And that's the problem. And then it really becomes shame. And then it really becomes frustration. And then it really becomes all of these things that we so deeply don't want. So yeah, that's good. Moving forward, that is the key.
Yes, yes. And I feel like the stronger you are at being able to let things go, I'm gonna argue that it's one of the most high value things that you can have within yourself. Because
Yes.
if you think about it, there's so many people that walk around with so much shame, so much guilt, so much fear, all of this stuff. And for you to look at somebody and say, like, they did something, let's say embarrassing, or they did something that you would think is like so, scary or something, and you look at them and they're doing it and you're like, and that person says, yeah, I was scared too, but I did it anyway. That's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like, you look at that person like a superhero, right? You're just like, oh shit, you did that? Like, oh my God. And the person's like, yeah, I mean, like, fuck it, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's something, and that's what I mean, what we were talking about earlier in our last video was like, these high value qualities are truly within you, right? These are things that you can work from. Like, you already have it within you. You don't need to go out and buy, the next Chanel bag or whatever it is. Yes, those are cherries on top, but really the highest value qualities are within you, and capitalizing on it, becoming stronger, and then compounding all of these qualities into just a freaking superhero, right? Like this superwoman or man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, the compounding part of it. I think it all adds up. It all adds up. When you start to look backwards, you're like, oh, I'm actually making movement. I'm actually going somewhere. Sometimes we don't know that it's adding up because we don't have the physical thing in front of us, or the person in front of us, or the situation hasn't manifested fully, so we don't think that we're going anywhere, but we are. And if you look backwards and then you continue to make movements forward, it's really, even if sometimes it's breadcrumbs, you're still moving forward in a way, once you know really what it is that you want, what it is that you really want. And I want us as women, and your channel, I think you're with men and women in your channel. So yeah, I think what the key for any individual, any human, is knowing what you want, giving yourself the opportunity to even dream about it, to imagine what life could be like, and even if it's baby steps, move forward, embodied in the thing.
And sometimes I think it can even be very general too. I think, yes, I think it works I think you get there quicker if you know exactly what you want. Like, I want this exact car, I want to live in this exact city, whatever it is. But it even works if you just want to be, like I said, like, I manifested a car and I was very general about it. I said, I just want something that feels good to me. I want something that looks like me. I want something that is a sustainable, eco-friendly car. Like, I want these things, but there are many different types of cars. I'm not a car person, right? Like, I'm not somebody that's like, oh, it needs to be like a freaking Tesla and like has all the bells and whistles like this, because I'm not so much focused on cars. Maybe for somebody else, they have a clearer image of what they want. And don't get me wrong, I have clearer images of things that I want. They're just, clothes and things like that. So, I mean, you can even be very general, I feel, and still manifest those things, but it's what you said. It's like about being very clear. So clear about those general things or those specific things, and then moving
Yeah.
through things every day. But I
Yeah.
wanted to step in because just one last thing. We have less than a minute left. So
Oh,
yeah, we can. I know we've been like going on. It's been feeling really good. We've been
fun.
firing all day, or this whole Zoom call. So we can just close out and then start a new one.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can do that too.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right.
All right. Bye.